Welcome to World Travel Made Easy with Itinerary Boss, the podcast for busy professionals, entrepreneurs, and business owners who want to travel smarter, save money, and plan unforgettable trips without the stress. I'm Ross, your host and the founder of Itinerary Boss. I spent a decade building a career in healthcare, software, and medical device sales while planning both personal and business trips across more than 20 countries. Whether it was group getaways with friends, couples trips, or just mapping out business territories, I became the go-to person for saving money on flights, organizing those logistics, and using points to elevate the experience. Now, as an entrepreneur and business owner, I help others do the same by showing you how to travel better using points, smart planning, and those proven strategies. Each week, we bring you expert guests, step-by-step tutorials on points and miles, and real-world itineraries that we've used to help you plan with confidence. Whether it's using points to travel better, exploring a new destination, or just learning how to maximize your spending, we've got you covered. Before we dive in, go ahead and grab one of our free tools in the show notes. One, the points and miles cheat sheet that'll help you get started earning and redeeming points to save thousands on travel, or the stress-free travel toolkit that includes a budget guide, packing checklist, and planning tips to save you time and hassle. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or busy professional looking to choose your next credit card or get help maximizing your everyday spending for rewards and booking free travel, book a free one-on-one consultation. You can find the link within the show notes or head over to itineraryboss.com. And if this episode helps you, please share it with a friend or family member, follow the show, and leave a 5-star review. It's the best way that helps us grow. Now, let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to another episode of World Travel Made Easy with Itinerary Boss. And if you're joining us from last week, we're continuing on our Points and Miles series, helping you kind of understand from beginning to intermediate to advanced of just why points and miles are important, how you can save a ton of money, what are some tips and tricks that we've learned, over our 10 years of doing this, what are some mistakes and all the fun that comes with that. If you want to get started, if you're a beginner, start back with why credit cards are game changers. That's going to be a couple episodes back. And if you wanted to kind of understand, what are some welcome offers, I think that's a lot of the time what people are curious about. We recorded that last week, so go check that one out. And for this week, we're just going to be diving into what are the perks that come with annual fees and ultimately why are they worth it, right? Like what do you get out of some of these upgrades when you pay for an annual fee card? And I want you to think about and ask yourself this question. Would you pay $95 to earn a $600 hotel night, airport lounge, meals paid for, built-in and travel insurance? And that's what we're going to cover over the next 15 minutes. And I want you to reframe just your mindset around it and think about, don't think about an annual fee as a cost. Think about it as an upfront investment. We're going to dive into 5 of the buckets that annual fees will help out with and really just dive into, what are some of those. So first, just at a very high level, some of the things that you can think to hear about are going to be free night certificates, monthly and quarterly credits, lounge access and premium services, points accelerators and boost, as well as some of the built-in protections that come along with that. So first, we will dive into, and I'm going to share my screen because I think this makes it easier for you to follow along with, just to give examples. So first, we'll start with free night certificates. So I think that's big because if you travel for work, if you are a business owner and you're traveling a good amount, it's always good to know, what are some of these built-in free nights. So you can see, and I'm just full disclosure, I mainly stay at Hyatt's and IHG's. And, in the past, I've stayed at Marriott's, Hilton's. I was Marriott and Hilton when I was traveling a lot for work from 2016 to 2021. But now that I'm not, and it's, don't have a family at the moment, we it just makes it easier to stay at some of those resorts. But if you are interested in kind of learning more in depth around Marriott and Hilton, and that's your go-to, I have a couple really good episodes. Marriott, if you go back and listen to Robin Sachs Frankel That's a really good episode. And then if you're really interested in the um, Hilton program, go back and listen to, and these are very recent episodes. Danny Saffron, his 11 visiting 11 countries, 75 free hotel nights. He's a big Hilton and Hyatt guy, but he dives deeper into kind of some of the strategies he uses for Hilton. So definitely check that out. But some of the just free night perks you can see on the business cards, right? There's some pretty good welcome offers right now around 3 free nights awards around some of those. So that's going to be really good. You also can see there's 130,000 Hilton Honors points, which is great. But something just from a personal standpoint that we use is the World of Hyatt card. So if you get a free night at a category 1 to 4, and that's huge because sometimes some of those category fours can be 350, $400. So already you're out, you're you're pretty much getting rid of that annual fee. One other thing is like, for example, the IHG Premier Rewards Card. This is 5 free nights after spending $5,000 on purchases. So, and if you go back and listen to Welcome Offers, our most recent episode, it'll walk you through kind of what are the power of welcome offers. But I'll give you a personal example. We got this card last year. We hit the minimum spend. We earned the 5 free nights. This annual fee's $99. The one free night when we stayed in Bangkok for our honeymoon and used that it was about 225, $250. That's small, right? So then we use those other 4 free nights for a hotel in Grand Cayman that is over $750 a night. So we're saving over $3,100 with those 4 free nights. That's just with the free night. So that's already right. We're talking almost $3,500 in savings with that annual fee. We knew we were earning expenses on that. So we went in and we knew we were going to pay for expenses for the wedding on this card, and we knew we were staying at an IHG hotel. So we went ahead and opened this. With that IHG card now, we're earning 26 times the points when we stay at those places. So let's just say we spend 2 grand on our vacation in Grand Cayman on food, drink, whatever. We're going to earn 52,000 points, which is going to. Hey, I wanted to take a quick break to say thank you so much for tuning into the show. The only way the show grows is through listeners like you helping us share it. So if you're enjoying the show, it'd mean the world to me if you hit that 5-star rating, shared it with a friend or family member who's ready to travel more, save money, or just needs a little bit more inspiration and that nudge. And if you're posting about it on Instagram, go ahead and tag Itinerary Boss, and we'll make sure to reshare it and shout you out for giving us a shout out. Thanks so much for the support. It truly means a lot. And now back with the show. It's going to equate to, a couple more free nights. For the wedding and expenses, right? We earned over 100,000 points. So already just on this IHG card, we have just a simple example. We have our 5 free nights, so about $3,500 in savings. We have another, by after our November trip, we'll have another 150,000 points, which is going to equate to, depending on where we stay, another 3 to 5 free nights. If we also have our anniversary free night, and then when we redeem points for a consecutive 4 night stay, which we'll get another free night. So that, if I'm doing my math right, that's 7 free nights. And also, we have 150,000 points for those stays that we already have. Plus, when we stay at the place for free, again, on points, we are then going to spend on that specific card and earn 26 times the points. So, in the grand scheme of things, that $99 annual fee is pennies on the dollar. So that's just a personal use case, and that can go across, right? That can go across your personal cards, that can go across your business cards. it just depends on, right, what is your specific use case, you know, and just thinking about your personal situation. And I can help, if you have specific questions, I do. If you're a business owner, I do consultations to help you pick the right card. I help you, map out where are you spending? Are you spending on the right card? What makes the most sense with that and welcome offers? So that is just a one example, and there's many more. So you also get Platinum Elite status, which is great because, upgrades, if you just always, and I have a standard email that I'll share, where if you send them an email prior to going, let them know, hey, it's an anniversary, honeymoon, we're here on this trip, you more likely have a chance to get an upgrade because you've booked, you have the card, you have Platinum Elite status, you're part of IHG. And if you don't already have TSA and global entry, this is pretty standard with, more of the annual fee cards, but you get that paid for. So that's $120 already. So just that's one example around the annual fee. I know that's a $99 annual fee. So we'll do one other use case. I'll do this one because this has a higher annual fee, but some of the perks that come with it are phenomenal. Uh, sorry, what is this? Okay, so this is a limited time offer. So when we talked about when we talked about welcome offers on the last episode, right? You're able to get 150,000 if you spend this. You probably see that annual fee of 695 and say, no way, no way. So the nice thing is you're going to get a lot of benefits with this. So thinking through, five times the points, so you're getting those things, but also you get some of these, $200, $120, that's 320, right? You also get 30, you can get that. You can get statement credits, clear credit, premium airfare for Hilton business, Hilton for business members, $200. So lounge access, right? And I think the thing is too, and this is pretty standard across, some of the higher end cards, your Capital One Venture X, also uh, this card, I have this card, you get lounge access to the priority lounge for with Priority Pass. Think if and you get one guest. Also, they're coming out with bank specific lounges. I just went to one by this when we were on my bachelor party in Scottsdale at the Phoenix airport, right? We ate breakfast. We got what we needed. Capital One, has one now in Dulles and Denver, right? And being able to go into those and pay for your meal, whether it's for you, if you and your wife have that and you have two kids, right? Say you have one of you has this card and one of you has a Capital One Venture X, right? Whether it's business, whether it's personal, you then can go into the lounge and sure, you have an annual fee, but you are able to eat, right? How much do you think you spend at an airport? I don't know. It's $20 for a Burger King burger. So you're probably saving $80. And if you're traveling a good amount, right? Like those things add up. And you're just getting even more things. So like for example, if you're afraid of that annual fee, I'll just give you an example. If you come to this, okay, this has $395 annual fee. That's kind of scary. But when you come down, we have already paid for that annual fee because we get $300 back for travel credit. Okay. You get $120 for global entry and or TSA pre-check. That's 420. That's over 395, right? And you're also getting complimentary access to those over 1,300 airport lounges worldwide, as well as the Capital One lounges, right, with Priority Pass. And you get one guest. So you're already outweighing the annual fee, which is huge. And I can tell you from when we went on our honeymoon to Thailand and Bali, I have the card that I'd mentioned. I brought my wife with me. We went to 8 different lounges. I mean, that's, and we, obviously we were like, okay, we got to check out this one and this one. But regardless, right, we probably used the priority pass for 5 or 6 specific ones that we had to go into. And we just think of that, right? How many meals is that saved on expenses? That's going to pay for it itself. And also you're getting, you know, points accelerators when you're booking through these things. So just when you start to think about those type of things, the lounge and premium services is huge. Another thing uh, is going to be those monthly and quarterly credits. So, if you're looking at the American Express Platinum, you get, and I'll just go to that so you can just kind of see, but you also get let's just look at this because this just makes it, you get the 200 airline fee credit, $155 Walmart Plus credit, $200 hotel credit, $200 Uber Cash credit, right? The 199 Clear Plus credit, $240 entertainment credit for Disney Plus, YouTube, you know, this for Saks Fifth Ave. So these are the things where you start to think of, oh, 695 is huge. You add in your statement, your lounge access, global entry, which then you're just traveling smarter, right? If you're traveling a lot and you have this card, you're not waiting in lines. When you're coming back, you're being able to go through customs. You also then can use these different credits to outweigh it. So it's just kind of understanding those type of things. I know, for example, I have, the card that I had mentioned. I get for this card, my wife has this, she gets 5 times the points on all Lyft rides. We connect that to there. We're getting that. Also, we can link our Lyft to different airlines. They offer being able to link those things. So we actually link that. So then each Lyft, we're earning points for that airline loyalty program or hotel loyalty program. Uber does the same thing. Go check that out. I'll do a deeper dive into what those are and how to maximize those. But just for example, so you can see one more. So this is what I have. I earn 3 times the points on all of my travel and as well as dining, delivery services, and takeout. I also get a $5 DoorDash credit each month if you book through, the portal, which for hotels or car rentals, usually I won't, but sometimes if I can find something um, hotel wise or car rental and I need to, I will. But also, you get that $300 travel credit. So we're already chipping away right at that. You get the Lyft Pink Plus, which is awesome because they're going to prioritize you to pick you up and you save money there. And you also get, I think the biggest thing is that trip insurance. So you get trip delay reimbursement and if you want to dive deeper into, and I'll do a deeper dive into travel insurance. I have an episode with a travel agent, and it's with Margie Polari, where she dives deeper into trip travel insurance in general, but also if you go back to Robin Sachs Frankel, one of our more recent episodes, she gives a prime example of how her card helped cover when they had a delay when they were flying out to Alaska on a cruise. And actually, her friend, so she had this card, her friend had one of the other cards, and she wasn't able to get reimbursed when Robin was. And she was, you have this, you get from a delay and rental car insurance, and they will, pay you up to a certain amount, as well as if you start to think about different, and if you book your trip also, so flights, and I think the biggest thing, right, if something gets canceled, you're able to really get that insurance on it. But also if you have any sort of medical expenses or anything while you're overseas, having this card, if you've booked it, is really going to help with some of those. So those are some of the built-in things that make annual fees worth it. I mean, it's a no-brainer. And I get asked all the questions all the time, right? So there's just on the personal side. If you start to dive in, and we'll do more of a business deep dive for business cards. But I just wanted to do it at a high level to show here's my personal experience, here's why it's worth it. And I had, friends who looked at credit cards. I get it, right? It's overwhelming. It's you aren't taught this stuff in school. No one you're most, and I was myself, right? You're hammered, into your head, debt is bad, which it is. But sometimes, if you're financially responsible, and none of this is financial advice, please consult your financial advisor on anything. But this is just a great example of, why if you are smart and you are traveling or you are spending money already on your business expenses, why not make your money work for you? And just a couple things are, just start where, makes the most sense, right? Like I don't in a business, right? Like I'm not going to go and get, if you go back to our Power of Welcome offers, as great as that Capital One Venture X business card offer sounds of spending $230,000 to earn about 750,000 points, right? After all said and done, like I can't afford that. I can't spend that, right? So starting out with a smaller business card that's going to earn you right those 100,000 points from a business standpoint. And happy to, if you are a business owner, entrepreneur, just getting started, have any questions, do the one-on-one consults where I can help map that out for you. But as you start to spend more in your business, right, figuring out what you spend your money on more and picking out those cards. And then from a personal standpoint, right? Don't go and cancel those cards if you've had some for 10, 15 years. Like that's going to help your credit out. If you have any specific, just more deeper dives into that, some of our episodes with people who are experts who write for Forbes Advisor, Fortune. If you go back and listen to Glenn Flanagan's episode, he does more of a deeper dive into that. Robin Sachs Frankel also does that. An episode that is right around here that's coming out. Jason Steele, he actually was the first writer at the Points Guy. I got the chance to interview him, and he does a trade show called CardCon, and he's interviewing all the top people in the space, and he does some amazing stuff. So if you want to go listen to that episode, he kind of can show how he has a family and he does some pretty cool stuff strategically of how he's really maximizing the benefit. So I'm JV compared to him when it comes to some of that stuff, but. Just a couple things, always a reminder, make sure you're always paying, those cards off. Statement balance 100%, not just the minimum fee, because a, you really never want to carry any of those interests. So, because that's just going to negate the value of points. Make sure when you first get the card, you activate, those different credits. Make sure you're looking into what fits your lifestyle the best. We can obviously help. We have a full web page that kind of walks you through, and then we have podcast episodes to go along with that. And if you have any questions, always just shoot us a DM, drop us a comment. And just make sure you aren't getting the same card. It doesn't make sense to go get the personal American Express Platinum and also the Capital One Venture X rewards card, right? That would kind of be, you wouldn't be value. You could, but you'd be paying almost $1,000 in annual fees for some of the same benefits. So figuring out what fits your lifestyle best, right? And we'll get more into transfer partners, home airports, which I think that'll help you also pick out those. And then from a business standpoint, figuring out where you're at, where do you spend most of your money, and what is your spend. I think that's gonna be key. But we appreciate you tuning in. Again, make sure you give us a 5-star rating or review if you think you deserve it. Make sure you go download our points and miles cheat sheet. That's really going to be a good starting point and is going to give you 4 easy steps to get started. And then you'll just continue on your journey and we're going to save you thousands of dollars. I think that's the best part. And if you have any feedback for us, good, bad, drop us a comment, leave us a review, and we appreciate everyone tuning in, and we will make sure to see you next week.